I run a small agency called Running with the Kidz, and I provide parents in-home respite in their homes and in the community, but I also provide children with activities and programs. When they're out with me, we go and visit places in the community, or we go on big out trips. So we, check out all the things Toronto has to offer. And even at home, I provide some kind of activity. So we'll get toys out, we'll play with things. Some kids have iPads and other electronics that they like to play with. And then I incorporate some kind of therapy. So whether it's being in the walker and walking to the corner store, or just stretching on the floor, or rolling around and having a good time. A lot of kids have siblings, so, try to get them in there and, we're all going to roll around on the floor. At home, I usually take up the cooking and things like that. So kids will help me cook. So they're part of that experience of, we have to cut this up, or we have to chop this up. And yes, I do hand over hand with the knife. Let's chop this up. Let's put this in. So there's always an ongoing dialogue of what we're doing, and they can answer back in whatever the way they answer, whether it's a verbal yes or no, or a blink, or a head tilt, or a smile. They're fully involved in each and every activity that we're doing. For a lot of my kids, they are lower functioning. So a lot of times parents will look to me and say, well, what are you gonna do? So I come up with a lot of fun ideas, and sometimes I'll write down a schedule of what we do so parents know when they come home, this is what we did. Sometimes they don't want to look at a schedule, they want to hear about what we did when they come home. But yeah, every once in a while a parent will say, I'd like them to do these few things when they come home. But you fall into a structure. You fall into this is what we're going to do when we come home. We're going to go to the washroom, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to have dinner, and then have a bath, and then it's bedtime. Those are the regular things. Anything else in between is not structured at all. I just can't do it because it's usually fun and play and adventure and funny things that they say to me, or that happen, or
Right, so you would take cues from the kids too, I guess, right?
Exactly,
what they like
yeah.
to do and what they feel like, and
especially if siblings are a part of it, right? Little
right.
Siblings are hilarious. Kids are so funny, the stuff they say. So, they'll say something, and then the sibling will laugh, and everybody's laughing, and I'm usually the first one to laugh, but
right.
That's kind of how it happens, right? Is usually it's just we're all having a good time, spending time together. So usually after working with somebody for a couple months, I'll talk to parents about meeting with their therapist, or emailing them, or talking with them. Not all children have a therapist that follows them on a weekly basis. Some of them just have consultative, so it's through school, or it's every 6 months or something like that. And they'll tell me what they do. And if there are things like equipment, like standers or walkers or gaiters or whatever, I will contact the therapist that is the consultant and say, I'm going to use these things. But there's not always a lot of feedback on this is how you should use them. It's usually just great, use them, because it's good for the child in either way. And if there's something I don't understand, I have a lot of contacts that I can just say, hey, this child has this new piece of equipment. Can you come over and show us how to use it? Or you send me an email on detailed instructions or something like that.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like much more than just respite.
Yeah, I guess it is. I think I always go back to respite because that's the word that everybody understands. Even if they don't have a child with a disability in their house, or have never taken care of a sick parent, they know what the word respite means. So I always go back to that, but it's definitely much more engaging. My respite doesn't look like anything else because I'm picking children up from places and taking them out and doing things like that. So I try to provide as much as I can to provide that break of, oh, now I don't have to do it, or, oh, my child's been fully involved and, knows what's going on. So I don't have to sit and explain to them, this is what we're going to do, and this is what's going to happen, and, So I work with a wide range of people. Things from high-functioning autism to very low-functioning with, developmental delays and physical delays, nonverbal, incontinent. And then there's people who only have physical disabilities and fully verbal. and their cognitive functioning is high or low or in between. I've worked with people who have rare genetic disorders, I guess you would call them. So have kind of different things happening. So it's not so black and white. It's very intricate to the disorder that they have. I've worked with people who have G-tubes and trachs, who have muscle dystrophy, CP, Huntington's disease. I've also worked with people who have high behaviors. So a challenge of a different sort. It's not getting somebody up and getting them ready in the morning. It's protecting yourself from, you know, keeping it as neutral as possible to get someone out the door before that emotion rises up and you see that behavior. So families pay me directly, and some families have funding that they get from the government or from other agencies and pay me with that. And then some families that can afford to pay me out of pocket. So I invoice the family at the end and they will, you know, pay me either through direct deposit or email or by a check or cash. Some parents enjoy playing, you know, it's better for them to pay by cash. So it's a very honest and open relationship that way too. I find it opens up. It doesn't mask this, oh, we're getting paid. There was this interesting thing I remember I learned in school was to never let the client know you're getting paid, because, you know, it devalues the work and then they may get their feelings hurt. And I thought about that for a long time because I said, there must be another reason that somebody's feelings are getting hurt though, besides the exchange of money. Because for somebody to interpret, oh, my parents are exchanging money with this woman, she must not care about me and only want the money, is a big thing. I feel like that's a big thought in someone's mind to really be overthinking it. And all the kids I work with and young adults know that I get paid and they don't care. They don't, you know, our exchanges are genuine and we have a great time and they're part of my little family on the side. And so there's none of them that feel, oh, she's getting paid and she's only doing this for the money. So I usually try to introduce them to one person that I think will fit the best. And then after that one person is comfortable, we also do a lot of group outings. That's how staff meets the kids. And that's the way I really like it, because I think sometimes, you know, taking multiple people into someone's home can be intimidating and they go, well, what do I do? And so I think it's really interesting to bring kids out of their home, have them in a group activity, and then say, actually, can you take this person home? And I always check with parents and they say, yeah, sure, no problem. Parents really trust me. So it's been really easy and great to say, oh, actually, I know you brought them here, but can you take this person home instead? And, you know, parents say, oh yeah, sure, no problem. And I'll meet this new person and get to know them. And that's how the relationship develops. And I'll say to families, oh, I hired this new person and this is how I know them. This is what they do. My interviews are usually somewhat personal because I'll ask, what do you like to do in your spare time? And I pass that on to families just so they know who I've hired and they have a nice sense of the person. So all parents have met all of the workers that I work because they either picked their child up from somewhere or brought them home, or, you know, parents come on a group outing with us and they get to meet everybody, or, you know, it's really grown in that way, which is great. I find sometimes at the beginning, a mom or dad will say to me, can we make it a consistent person all the time? And I try to do that in the beginning because, of course, consistency is important. But once I explain to them the nature of people getting sick or having another job, or it really opens up their eyes and goes, oh, yeah, that does make sense. And they also see that their child gets to meet new people. We're not only friends with a lot of the kids and young adults we support, but because we do group activities, we make friends with a lot of the other kids. Kids go to schools far away, you know, so it's hard to kind of make that relationship. So yeah, that's why I try to have all the staff meet parents, because at any moment somebody can be sick or a job thing can come up or they're stuck on a streetcar, because it happens, right? Where I've had to jump in a cab and go and meet somebody because somebody else can't get there. So I usually work 6 days a week, sometimes 7. I also make my own schedule, so please don't feel sorry for me. I don't need to work 6 days a week, but I enjoy it. I run a Saturday morning swim program. So, you know, it's really fun on Saturday mornings to get up and go swimming with the kids. I just hired somebody. I have 7 people working with me. Oh gosh, that number is so big.